So close, Steve Craig.
Hey, Steve Craig's a professional. Give that man respect. It's better than the guy who came in here the first game.
Oh, no.
Said the manager was.
Oh, no. No.
Said Donnelly was the manager.
Oh, no. We lost it. And we were just like, oh, no.
We were in there. We were laughing about it. And then I looked behind me, and Matt Moore's sitting there. And Matt's face.
Roger that.
Now here's the starting 11 for head coach Dave Sarachan and NCFC. Goalkeeper number 1, Alex Tambakis. Defender number 3, Sam Brotherton. Defender number 27, DJ Taylor. Defender number 23, Alex Poncia. Defender number 33, Aaron Guillen. Midfielder number 10, Ben Steeves. Midfielder number 16, Graham Smith. Midfielder number 26, Tommy McKay. Midfielder number 31, Stephen Miller. Forward number 7, Donovan Iwolo. And at
The question for Atlanta United 2 and head coach Stephen Glass. Can the momentum that they picked up midweek in the 901 area code against Memphis 901 FC continue tonight against North Carolina FC at home? We'll have the answers around the corner. You're watching the USL Championship. It's on ESPN Plus next. From Fifth Third Bank Stadium in Kennesaw, Georgia, it is the USL Championship on ESPN+. Atlanta United 2, North Carolina FC. There is a group, a gaggle, a logjam in the Eastern Conference as we're getting into match week number 6. Two of the teams involved in it getting ready to play here in Kennesaw tonight. Atlanta United 2, 8th in the table right now at 2-2-1 and 7 points. North Carolina FC only a point ahead with 8 points, but they are 3rd in the table alongside Jared Smith. I am John Nelson. Thanks for hanging out with us and accessing us however you are doing so. And Jared, for the Stripes tonight, different set of issues, 3rd match in a week.
See how those legs are doing. Some of the players you wondered if they'd be with the first team or they'd be here. And now you've got a difficult challenge with a North Carolina team that has given you issues in your short history.
Player that we're going to be keeping an eye on for North Carolina FC has a bit of a backstory. It's the return of Alex Tambakis.
How about that? Alex Tambakis finding himself here in North Carolina after it didn't work in Atlanta. He goes to North Carolina, really finds himself, picks up 4 saves last week, making the USL Team of the Week, and a draw against Memphis 901 should be an interesting task.
And on the flip side for Atlanta United 2, a guy who's found his footing early on at the back, it's Wesley Dacus.
Wesley Dacus has decided not to give up his starting job if he has anything to say about it. Came on, was really impressive last weekend. Played incredibly well against Memphis. As you see, won 79% of his duels, 86% of the aerial duels. Really impressive by the 19-year-old who is on loan, making it really hard not to trigger that buy option if this keeps up.
When we come back, it's lineups, it's coaches, everything else you need to know before kick. Atlanta United 2, North Carolina FC just around the corner. It's the USL Championship on ESPN+. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
I knew your name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, one stop to better.
Welcome back to Fifth Third. Time to let you see what the starting 11s and the 18s are as we get you ready for Atlanta United 2 and North Carolina FC here. Action in the USL Championship on ESPN+. And Jarrett, let's start with the visitors and what they look like tonight. What do you see when you're staring at the starting 11 for North Carolina FC?
Something missing, and it's one of the keys for us tonight. It's Graham Smith in the lineup because Austin DeLuz is on a red card that he picked up against Memphis last week. You don't have that veteran presence, the guy who, a couple times last week when he was the parachute to get things out of trouble. Without him in the lineup, that's kind of different. Wolo is a name that Atlanta fans will know well. Scored 4 goals against them last year. There's a bit of a nightmare tendency with there.
There's the man in charge, Dave Sarakin, who really wanted this gig. He thought it was going to be an interesting place for him, and so Dave Sarakin on the sideline.
Dave Sarakin's done a really good job with this team. They haven't lost yet, and they've been impressive in their games. You look at the last game they had, they go down a goal, down a man, and they're able to put it back on track with a free kick goal to rescue the point at home before this road trip.
Speaking of home, what about the Stripes? When you look at what the Stripes have tonight, what do you see?
Didn't know what they were going to look like, honestly, but the first team playing at the same time, the third game in a week, but you get Gordon Wild up top, Jackson Conway, Andrew Carlton, Bent, Asayadu, Metcalf, Benitez, Dacus, who we went over, Campbell as well, that young back line. Gordon Wild's going to be an interesting one for me. Talking to people in Charleston last year, they were saying that there are things he's got to work on. Putting the ball in the back of the net ain't one of those things.
On the touchline, it's Stephen Glass, and there's Glassy right there. In his first season, what about Glassy?
I think Glass has done a wonderful job with this team so far. You know, you had a change in manager right at the start of the year. He's come in. I think he's inserted really his style that he wants to see, and we're seeing him look better and better every time out. The results, you finally saw the result in Memphis I think you wanted to see, but even before that, you were seeing really good performances.
Alexander Zhelyashkov, the man in the middle. Ashley Varnson, Ben Regal, Thomas Brigman is your fourth. Those are the folks that are going to be in the bright yellow kits and the headset mics for us tonight. And when you look at this match, you mentioned that it's going to be lights out for North Carolina FC. No Austin Powers, no Austin Duluth. What else are you looking at with these two teams tonight?
Well, for Atlanta, we mentioned it before. It's 3 games in a week. I know you've been able to rotate the squad, but some of those guys have seen a lot of minutes on their legs. So we'll see how that works out for them. You know, how those minutes get divvied up in this game. Who starts maybe to get a little bit heavy in the 60th minute or so, and not just the physical toll, but the mental toll. How does the brain hold up in that life at the back? Looking at this team again, so young on the back with George Campbell and Dacus especially. A really young back line that has done really well what you asked them to, especially for the core.
We are now underway from Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Once again, thanks for accessing us however you are doing so. Campbell, Carlton, and off and running, it's John Gallagher. Trying to work it forward. Opportunity for Jackson Conway down in the box. Nothing happening there. Zhelyashkov with the palm up saying, I'm not going to call that one as a penalty. 20 seconds in, it was a close call for North Carolina FC, and they try to launch, but back at the back, it's Dacus.
Hey, just like we talked about, Dacus getting up in the air, stuck with his man really nicely there, got things out of trouble quickly.
Asiedu trying to work the diagonal, and he does. Andrew Carlton is there on Aaron Guillen, tries to center it with the right, and it's clipped, and it will be a Creature Comforts corner kick for ATL UTD2 as we come up a minute in.
The quickest way to my heart is with that diagonal ball. You see him play it to Carlton. Just get it on the foot of a creative player. He plays the ball in. It doesn't reach its destination, but you still get a corner out of it, and you're giving him something to think about. Both of these teams like to possess the ball. It doesn't matter what can you do with that possession.
Gordon Wild raises the hand, sends it in with the left. Header opportunity cleared, but Gallagher will settle. And it's Andrew Carlton. Gordon Wild. Gallagher having to retreat. Center circle, Dacus.
This is something that Tyler Ruthven's talked about with this team with so many young players after the first game of the season, was when things get hectic a bit, take a second, take a breath, slow it down a little bit. It's okay to recycle the ball sometimes, and if it's not there, live to fight another day.
Brendan Moore sends it forward with the left. Last touched by ATL UTD2. Looks like it's going to be a throw for North Carolina FC. Second ball won by North Carolina, but Andrew Carlton will come down with it. Stop and start.
A little bit of a heavy touch there from Carlton. You like his mind, though. He's trying to insert himself into the game really early.
Ben Spees, of his time at Indy 11. Sent in with the left all the way over. Gordon Wild retreating rather nicely to help out on defense. North Carolina FC is going to have to come all the way back and start. Aaron Guillen.
Again, this is a team that's really comfortable with the ball at their feet. They're not going to get anxious. They're able to work the ball around. Both of these teams in the top half of the league in passing as they turn it over there. So expect them being willing to make that extra pass and take their time.
A lot of work in the middle third. Spees had it. Gives to Iwolo. Trying to work it into the middle of the pitch are the visitors. McCabe and over. Benitez marking there in the box. Opportunity for North Carolina FC, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Good defending there by Atlanta again. It's the two young guys. It's Campbell, it's Dacus getting involved. They've got some size to cause problems here. We'll just see how much we see from it. You see a cross in and bodies everywhere. But you see Atlanta has it marked up pretty nicely there. And I think it's fair to have questions, and we can have those questions about the twos and about kind of starting quickly, as we saw that really hurt them last weekend here at Fifth Third Bank. So far, so good.
Campbell dribbling out of traffic. Benitez, a lot of space for Benitez here. Dacus to Benitez, all right. And a chance to work with it, but it's lost. Ends up with North Carolina FC back in transition.
This is something we're going to be interested to see with the forward the back look tonight. Is, you know, Benitez's ability to get forward. How do you balance that? How do you balance the field when you're doing that so you don't get caught out of possession? Who's going to sit? Who's going to help provide the cover?
Metcalf. Back to Campbell. Vint. Dacus allowing for Benitez to go forward. And Benitez with the throws. We come up here on minute number 6.
All right, now you see his Vint sitting a little bit deeper. His Sky down near the box, and looks like Tambakis is going to claim that one. Tambakis showed a lot of this, by the way, last week before they went down a man. A lot of confidence and a lot of aggression in the box. Was not afraid to command that back line. Was not afraid to command the ball.
Tambakis, I don't think, called fair catch on that one, but he ended up with it anyway. Carlton on Guillen. Hand fighting there. Aaron Guillen will work with it. Iwolo now has it. Gallagher on him. A lot of space for Donovan Iwolo to work, and he'll just work it with the right. Looked like there was too much on it, but brought back down by Stephen Miller, and it will continue to be a North Carolina FC throw.
We know what John Gallagher can do going forward. He's going to have a lot on his plate for going back. As this one goes in the box, McLean nicely.
Graham Smith with the left, picked up by Moore. And coming back in transition quickly are the Stripes. Gallagher, a lot of room for John Gallagher.
There's what you like to see. Gallagher get up in action and cause lots of problems if he can. He's a mismatch problem for a lot.
Gordon Wild with the left deflected. It'll be another Creature Comforts corner kick. It'll be the second for Atlanta United here as we hit the 7th minute.
Gotta love the aggression you're seeing so far from Atlanta United. That's 2 corners now, and they've been able to be aggressive, getting the ball in the box, not being shy about trying to back things out too much. Saw them cycle it through once, but otherwise, so far so good.
Andrew Carlton quickly bringing it back in, trying to catch North Carolina FC napping, but it ends up backfiring a little bit as the visitors will come with it. Excellent stand up there by Benitez to keep the action from getting past center line.
That's a great job from Spees as well to step in and break everything up, kind of get it going the other way and force a reset.
Vint with the right, looking to spring Wild. Hit it up in the air. Looks like Gordon will come down with it on the second ball. Chested. A lot of chances in the middle space here. There's a lot of gaps that the Stripes can take advantage of here.
You just got to find a way to break down this North Carolina defense. Again, you don't have your vocal leader in Deleuze, who, if you've watched a game with them, you know how loud he can be. You can hear him through the TV plenty of times. You know, how do they balance out?
Whistle there by Zhelyazhkov. Foul is called on DJ Taylor as Gordon Wild hit the deck. So Dacus will bring it up to center line. And they'll restart it quickly, something we've seen so far from the Stripes tonight. Trying to catch North Carolina FC napping a little bit. Gallagher. Captain Jack and Campbell.
So far, a pretty clean game. We've had 2 of these games with these teams recently where they've been played some really rough physical games that the tone was set early with the physicality.
Campbell trying to spring Jackson Conway. Well defended that time by Guillen, and it's out, but it'll be a throw. Metcalf has to reclaim it. He does. Back to Campbell. In center circle, Metcalf will send it over to Asiedu.
Asiedu, you see his head up. He's looking for that killer pass always, and it's so much fun to watch him. You know, just take care of the ball, but then also look for just the backbreaker when he can get it. And if they keep giving him space like that, he's going to find it.
Carlton out of traffic, back to Campbell. Vint drifting back to help out defensively. Benitez working with Wild. Deflected, and chasing it was Benitez, as North Carolina FC was in one of those I got it, you take it situations. All the way back to Brendan Moore.
You can't take a minute off, especially with someone like Benitez, who's basically on a treadmill up and down that left-hand side. He's going to chase down everything and make you make the play.
Campbell springing Gallagher. Guillen. Gallagher with the lift, looking for Carlton. Looks like Andrew got to it last. It'll be a goal kick.
Again, got caught a little bit watching there. Recovered very nicely, though, to make Gallagher have to lay that ball off and not let him turn the corner. Really good job of recovering and not letting that get out of hand.
10.5 minutes in, scoreless. Atlanta United 2, North Carolina FC. 16 matches going on tonight in the USL. We'll give you a peek at some of them at the break. One match is already completed today with Ottawa and Loudoun. Ottawa with the win there. So full points for the Fury going up against Loudoun Athletic, and or Loudoun United, and it's a tough first season for them.
We saw that with Atlanta United too last year. When it's your first year, it can be sometimes hard to get your foot under you, as it's a tough giveaway from George Campbell there.
But defended well on the turn by Dacus.
Imagine that.
The prescience of the show open. Well done, sir.
He listened. I appreciate it.
Asiedu looking for Carlton. Finds Metcalf instead. Carlton quickly to Gallagher. Looking to do something with the right. Brings it to the elbow. Leaves it for Metcalf. Will send it with the right to the back post. Wild tried to head it. And it looks like it was either him or DJ Taylor. But getting it are the stripes. Asiedu has it now, and Atlanta United 2 will try it again.
Wild's made a couple of those runs. It's the first time he's really been rewarded for it. But trying to find those empty spaces, and North Carolina seems willing to oblige them early on.
Lomas. All the way back to Guillen. Will spring Uolo. We've seen Donovan Uolo all over the place so far here in the first 11+ minutes. Sam Brotherton's going to have to send it all the way back to Tambakis, with Jackson Conway chasing. Good idea down the touchline, but in and out of the cleats of Stephen Miller, so it'll be a stripes throw.
The data's a little high there, a little bit uneven. And if Miller gets that under control, it's a legitimate opportunity for North Carolina. Unfortunately, just catches the back of his cleat, it looks like, and goes out for an Atlanta United throw.
Conway was there, got into a bunch of cleats. Will Vint comes down with it now. Carlton was looking for the long ball. He has to peel back, and so it's going to go all the way back for the stripes with Campbell and Dacus. Dacus with a little dribbling room. Good Shepherd idea by Wild. Wild to Metcalf, center circle. What can he do with it? Looking for the lift, gets the lift. Carlton, Gallagher on his flank. Andrew wants to shift to the left foot, drops it back to Jack Metcalf. Asiedu not afraid to launch from 25.
He thought about it.
He did. Metcalf back to Vint. Over to Benitez with the left end, and Conway tried to do something with a bit of a left flick. Didn't get the angle right, so it'll be a goal kick for North Carolina FC.
Looked like Mosquilla on the defense there, and try to make something out of nothing. And it's okay to sit there and watch that and go, okay, good try, kid. Make the pressure on him, make him make the play. Just gets under a little bit and tries to hook the tight angle shot. Ends up putting it up in the, I think that's the student section most days.
Yes, student section here at Kennesaw State. And you saw Stephen Glass there acknowledging the work rate that we've seen with the stripes so far as we hit minute 14, goalless here. Two teams top 8 in the Eastern Conference going at it here, match week 6. Brotherton bringing it forward. Graham Smith slips on the turf.
That's the second or third time we've seen someone get a little bit loose with the feet.
Wild gets out of traffic there. Stripe possession, not afraid to take it all the way back to Brendan Moore, and that's what they do. Campbell, and back to Brendan Moore. Token pressure there, but picked off by Uolo. Down here near side, looking with the left. Well done, headed out, but not all the way out. Looks like another chance for North Carolina FC. Middle of the box, a lot of traffic. Nicely done by Brendan Moore to keep it out of the net. Stephen Miller, the last to touch before Brendan Moore got his mitts on it.
Without Austin Deleuze here, you wondered who was going to step up for North Carolina as a veteran. And, hey, there's Stephen Miller in the box forcing a fantastic save. You see the ball come across the box. He manages to settle it. Takes that right-footed shot kind of off balance, and a great paw there by Moore to keep this game scoreless.
Spees with the corner. Moore looked like he wanted to punch. And done again well by Brendan Moore, headed over the bar. Another opportunity. Aaron Guillen missed it at the post.
Aaron Guillen just gets under it a bit much. I think he got a little excited. Moore was trying to get back in position. As you see, it's a solid corner delivery. It's up in the air. It's taken by Atlanta, cleared out of the way. Moore gets a hand to it. I think Guillen had more time than he thought he had. He tried to just put that thing on frame as quickly as possible and puts it over.
Wolo with the first chance. Moore gets in the way of the ball and then creates the second chance for Guillen, who heads it over.
Moore must have heard us talking about Tambakis. He wanted the attention too. Fantastic job so far from him.
Minute 16, goalless here at Fifth Third Bank, and down
Benitez.
All sent out of play, and here come the physios. Benitez.
Not sure what happened to him. May have gotten stepped on a bit. Game hadn't been overly physical, so may just gotten clipped a little bit. So we take another look at it.
Right there, got the kick just below the knee. Yep, studs into the knee there. Nicely done by the guys in the truck.
Looks like he's going to tough it out here and stay on. Benitez trying to walk it off.
So it's a corner kick situation since the Stripes wanted to put the ball out of play. Corner kick for North Carolina FC. Andrew Carlton marking short. And it's going to be goal kick, last touch North Carolina. Stephen Miller getting involved again.
Be curious to see how the set pieces are going to work for these teams, because North Carolina does have size, so does Atlanta. How does it balance out? You know, who kind of helps dominate that physicality? We almost called that.
Yeah. I wouldn't have called a fair catch. I would have put you in front of me.
That's fair.
You're taller.
Either way, Brendan Moore's goal kick goes a little bit high and wide. North Carolina's going to keep possession. And it's not really what you want if you're Atlanta, especially when you were looking so dangerous. Need to kind of tighten up here.
McKay, Comcia. Comcia and Brotherton at the back. Comcia playing a little back and forth right now. McCabe was with him. Only one dance partner for Alex right now as it's going back and forth, so he goes all the way back to the other Alex, Tambakis. Into the middle and over to Brotherton. Looking for Guillen. Well defended by Gallagher. Graham Smith to Brotherton. Comcia sends it forward and over everybody, looking for Lomas. It'll be a deep Atlanta United 2 throw as we're here late in minute number 18.
See Asienu really stepping up there, trying to force the issue and trying to not let North Carolina get too comfortable with that possession where they're just getting too casual with it. It's what you want to see out of Atlanta United too. Just don't let a team like North Carolina have the ball and get overly comfortable and then get unused to having the ball at your feet where you might get a little bit sloppy. See if you can force the error.
Pressure from North Carolina FC in their attacking third creates a throw for them. Graham Smith sends it back center circle. Brotherton and Guillen. Marked by Carlton. Guillen with a lot of room down the channel.
Nice move.
Sends it in with the right. Headed and poked over the crossbar once again, Brendan Moore.
Okay, seriously, I think he heard the pregame comments. Fantastic work from Brendan Moore.
Well done in the attack by North Carolina FC. Headed up in the air. Brendan Moore gets the arm up, and it's going to be another corner for North Carolina FC. Ben Spies here in the beginning of minute number 20. Spies sends it in, headed clear by the stripes on defense. Asiedu hit the deck in another wild shot that was just that.
You gotta love that if you're a defensive midfielder or defender at the back on those corners and you're not in the box. Ball comes to you and you got 8 miles of space to shoot. You might as well just hit it as hard as you can and hope it hits something good.
DJ Taylor did that, and it did not, so it ended up being a goal kick. Pressure again from North Carolina FC. We're seeing a lot more of that these days. There used to be the unwritten rule of let the keeper do his thing and make sure that he gets it on and gets everything in play, but we're seeing a lot more pressure and a lot of guys standing in the way of keepers these days.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons you see more and more keepers now who can play with the ball at their feet. They're not just there to direct traffic as North Carolina gets on an attacking formation.
Lomis and Awolo both wanted it. Spies has it, pokes it to Guillen at the elbow. Back to Spies, and back to Guillen. Will Vint chasing. Last touch off of the cleats of North Carolina FC, so it'll be a kick for the Stripes in minute 21.
Now I think this is a point if you're Atlanta United, try and get things balanced a bit. Try and hang on to the ball for a little bit and see if you can kind of calm things down.
Dave Sarakin directing traffic, making sure that folks are seeing what he's seeing on the North Carolina FC bench. Sent back to Tambakis and Guillen. Give you updates on the parent club, Atlanta United, as they're up in Foxborough, Massachusetts, taking on the New England Revolution tonight. Stephen Miller tries to send it on the diagonal. Big touch. Awolo looks like he got there first. Brendan Moore out of position. Moore's got to get back, sent in, and headed, at least the attempt was there, by Lomas.
It's Dacos on the defending there. Brendan Moore getting out of position. He thought he could reach it, wasn't quite able to do so. But Dacos bodied up on Lomas and able to keep that from getting out of hand for Atlanta United too. Still, that Jaws music getting a little bit louder.
Yep. All these chances for North Carolina FC, all of these ideas coming off of corners. Getting closer and closer each time. In the air. Headed down, a lot of boots in the area, and it's sent clear.
Looked like that was Brotherton who tried to get a hit on it quickly and wasn't able to get a clean touch.
Comcio sends it back. Nothing but Stripes kits there, headed out. DJ Taylor is going to go all the way back to Tambakis with the outside of his boot. Almost looked like there wasn't enough velocity behind it to get there, but it did, and they're going to start it over here middle third.
I think he had to take a step just to make sure it did get there. A couple of Atlanta United 2 players, including Jackson Conway, were starting to bear down on him as North Carolina's right back into the attack.
Game getting stretched a little bit here as they were looking for Stephen Miller, but it ends up back to Brendan Moore, nicely shielded defensively there by Gallagher. All right, officially at the quarter pole, what do you think?
Well, Atlanta United 2 really counter to what we might have been afraid of, where you had a game against St. Louis last week. You really didn't come out on the front foot, and you were down 1-0 very quickly. Tonight came out really aggressively and put North Carolina on the back foot, but North Carolina's recovered very nicely, been able to stretch Atlanta United 2 out. And right now, it's kind of hard for me to sit here and say where that first goal is going to come from.
Vint. Nicely done on the step over there by Dacus. And back to Campbell. Brendan Moore.
Great job by Metcalf stepping into the passing lane and killing that attempted attack.
Guillen. McCabe. Comcio.
See, North Carolina trying to establish more of that territory deep in Atlanta United's 2's half. He ended up playing it back to Tambakis, but trying to build the home base a little bit closer to the destination.
Nice slide by Jackson Conway, trying to get Brotherton to turn the ball over. Sent by McCabe, looking for anybody there at the end of it. And it's going to be another striped throw. And there's Dave Sarakin again.
Sarakin trying to give instructions. Just keep things going if you're North Carolina. You've had some chances. Brendan Moore, you've been making him work, and Moore's doing his job. You got to keep doing your job if you're North Carolina.
Conway, Comcia, winning that joust. In the middle, shot left, in!
We talked about Gordon Wild. When he was at Charleston, talking to people down there, shooting was not a problem. One of the things he had to work on, that was not it, and you saw it right there. Capitalizes on a great opportunity. And Atlanta United 2 goes up 1-0 with Gordon Wild putting in the back of the net.
25th minute late. There's your look. Wild gets behind the defense, launches with that big left, puts it right behind Alex Tambakis. Tambakis wondering where the help was. It wasn't there. Wild, 1-0.
And Tambakis looks like he actually gets a touch that with the boot. He kind of got caught in no man's land coming out for the ball and then realized he wasn't in a great spot, so he set the point of confrontation. Wild was not afraid to pull the trigger. He is in his MO. He's not afraid to pull from anywhere. Pulls it right there. And just as we were saying, it's hard to predict where that first one's going to come from. It comes from an Atlanta United 2 goal on the foot of Gordon Wild.
Atlanta goal scored by number 33, Gordon Wild.
Thank you, Steve
In the
Craig.
25th minute, the assist on the goal, number 30, and
So Andrew Carlton will get the assist.
Music to a lot of fans' ears.
Atlanta goal scored by 33, assisted by 30 in the 25th minute.
If you look at last week, Carlton really, he did impact the game against St. Louis, but it took him a little bit of time to find his rhythm. And he talked about it, trying to find space between the lines after the game. Tonight's been a different story. He's really put himself in the game from minute one, and there you see him provide the assist. So great to see from the young Powder Springs native.
There's Benitez.
Carlton's going to take it quickly.
Zelyazhkov. Asiedu. Captain Jack. Campbell. Center circle.
There's Lomas going down again with the. I need to check the spikes at halftime.
Check the sprinklers too. All 18 of them were working last time out. There's Metcalf again.
Nice ball.
Gallagher sends it in and just missed the opportunity there for two. Was Jackson Conway, but pressure still there. Benitez working his way into the box. Wanted a handball call on the defensive side, and Tommy McCabe just trying to get rid of it and can't. Gordon Wild steps over with the hurdle, sends it in with the left back post. Too much. Gallagher sends it way out there. And here's the last look at what went down.
It was a good ball across the front, and Conway just barely misses turning that into the net. Would have been a great goal for him and more positive momentum for Atlanta United. It ends with Gallagher basically taking a heat check from outside the box and trying to curl that in, unable to do so. But now here's Carlton once again with the turnover. Atlanta United 2's right back on the front foot.
Metcalf. Asiedu has some space. Thought about it, turns, B button, right foot blocked. Second ball, third ball. Benitez will come down with it. He'll go with the left, and he'll go over everybody. Looks like it's not going to stay, so it'll be a North Carolina throw.
Anderson Asiedu out there still trying to win headers and came really close to winning that header, which if you stand next to him, you wouldn't think he ever wins one. But his size and tenacity, it's hard to count against. It's hard to count against him and think he's not going to be able to do it. Really nice spin to clear up a little bit of space, though.
Wolo leaving it behind.
it feels like North Carolina finding themselves in the same situation that Atlanta United 2 was in a couple minutes ago, where just no ability to hang on to the ball and always feeling like you're under pressure as they try to establish a little bit here.
Wild in pursuit. Benitez is there. Settled down. Lomis looking for an opportunity. Tried to do something with the right. Campbell was there to block. Metcalf settles. Flicked out, but not all the way out. There's Guillen. Headed. Up in the air goes Dacus again. Benitez will come out with it. He has some space. He's got some partners with him. He'll leave it for Will Vint.
Dacus 2-on-1. He's the one who won it. Just going up and just getting ahead above everybody else, clearing it out of danger. Another fantastic job from Atlanta United 2, trying to keep that possession under control. Working all the way back when they've got to. Feeling really good about things now.
Vint, Wild, Benitez, Asiedu, complete in the passing lane, intercepts it. Had the big switch, but had to pull it back. Goes back to Campbell.
I started wondering with Asiedu if it's the old adage of the game slowing down. We're seeing him more and more step into passing lanes. Like he knows what's coming, and it's slowing down a little bit for him. Done a really good job, especially in going back to the second half of the St. Louis game last weekend, where the first half wasn't really that great for him. Second half was a marked improvement and looking more and more confident every time we see him.
Metcalf and Campbell. Metcalf. As we head toward minute 32. The Gordon Wild goal, the difference for Atlanta United 2, and the Stripes up 1-0. Wild with it, heads it down, gives to AC. Andrew Carlton, a lot of space. What is he going to do with it? He's going to leave it. Nicely done. Give and go right on Tambakis. Save, rebound, and over the bar.
Fantastic save from Alex Tambakis. What fantastic work from Atlanta United 2, getting in a position. Tambakis from short distance, able to deflect that back. Carlton's shot goes over the bar, but a wonderful job. Let's take a couple looks at this one. Fantastic work from Carlton, lays it off. Conway with a beautiful touch. Great job from Tambakis to push it down. Carlton able to push it over the bar only, unfortunately. Just the weight on this ball was perfect from Conway. Left-footed shot from Carlton, trying to catch him off balance, and not able to do anything with the second one. And a wonderful job by Tambakis keeping this at 1-0.
Dacus trying to make sure that Lomas didn't get there. Got too much behind it, and it's going to be another corner kick for North Carolina FC.
Well, you can ride the momentum of things like that. That saved shot. We saw Atlanta United 2 ride out the more saves earlier. See that Tambakis save gives a little pep in the step from North Carolina with this corner. They've been successful with them, been very dangerous so far.
Sent in into the middle of the area. Headed up in the air, second ball, won by North Carolina FC. Down and picked up by Brendan Moore.
I think he may have been offside there, but hey, that's great for confidence, though. Still made the save.
Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Asiedu had Gallagher on the big switch, but he couldn't find him. Vint.
Speaking of people who can hit the big switch and drop it on a dime.
Yes, and leave a nickel change. Campbell, lift, trying to spring Gallagher. Guillen will get there first. Step over. He's got it in the corner, but it's off of Gallagher last. It'll be a North Carolina FC throw.
That's fantastic work there to shepherd it out.
Graham Smith, Comcia, and Aaron Guillen. Iwolo Almost picked off by Gallagher. Ends up in the air. Iwuolo with a chance. Step over on Campbell. Tries to do something right on Brendan Moore.
You know what Iwuolo can do? He's done it before to this team. Great job by Campbell to shepherd him down to that tight angle. And then great job by Moore to be on his toes. Even though it's a tight angle, you know a guy like that's going to be willing to take the shot. He does, and great job by Moore to just handle things and keep it at 1-0 right there. As it looks like there was an offside ruling in Atlanta United's counterattack. Take a look at this last shot.
Point blank.
See Campbell 13. Come over. Shepherds him down, makes it a tough look. Tell you what, if he doesn't get a touch to that, that's probably going to be in the back of the net. Just if not on a direct shot, but probably going to just be deflected by the attacker standing right there at the 6-yard box. So another big save from Brendan Moore.
Guillen. Spees. Looking for Graham Smith, picked off by the Stripes. Vint will drop it back. Brendan Moore has to get rid of it. Vint's there, gets to it first. Asiedu and Carlton.
A little bit sloppy there. Doesn't hurt anybody, but does kind of give you a little bit of a side eye when you have to play that ball so quickly as the goalkeeper and end up having to have one of your defenders reach in slide tackle just to put the fire out.
There's your big switch we talked about. Gallagher has to wait for it, so Guillen got there first. Tommy McCabe.
It doesn't always have to be a successful big switch. You can miss on it, but give them something to think about with it, and that's what it does. We saw it earlier on in the match where Carlton was hit on that big switch to start things off. You bring it back there, you put it in the back of their mind that that's absolutely an option.
Spees thought about it, leaves it for Guillen now as we're halfway through minute 36. 1-0 Atlanta United 2. Comcia sends it forward, right cleat into the middle, Loomis, and into the back of the net. We're tied at 1.
Fantastic finish from Loomis. Mario Loomis just poaches out right there at the penalty spot, does a great job, collects it very calmly, puts it into the net, and Moore unfortunately not able to save that one after a stellar performance so far this evening.
Let's take a peek. Into the middle, Loomis settles it down, chips it. Brendan Moore went down, ball went up and over. Loomis gets the goal. We're tied at 1s here heading into minute 37.
Looked like it was DJ Taylor with that wonderful ball into the box and getting North Carolina on the board, which is really going to help for them confidence-wise going into halftime here. We got less than 10 minutes before the break. We've had a couple chances pushed away by Moore. Seeing that ball go in the back of the net can mean a lot.
North Carolina FC, short of that Louisville City match where they put 4 on the board, has only put 1 on the board in each match since.
Been a lot of damage from set pieces too, and that one certainly looked like it. And then you don't want to really, see a guy get that much space right at the penalty spot as they get another look here.
Headed, and Brendan Moore is there. Outlet quickly with the right over the top. DJ Taylor chasing, Comcia chasing, Wild was there. And a lot of traffic. Ends up being a throw for the Stripes.
Comcia is probably looking for the license plate on that Gordon Wild truck that just hit him. Put his body on the line to get it taken care of, because if he's not there, I'm not sure if Wild doesn't win that and end up 1v1. So puts his body on the line, gets rid of the ball, takes the hit, live to fight another day, and it's still tied at 1.
DJ Taylor setting it up. Fans follow Atlanta United 2 and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and now the US Open Cup as Dacus clears. Join the over 2 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Throw in here North Carolina FC as we turn minute 39. Chested, settled, left foot blocked, but not all the way out. Guillen is there.
Less than 7 minutes left in this half. You'd be forgiven if you thought there was at least another goal in this half. The way both teams are playing, everything just kind of stretching open a bit. Every time there's a goal scored, it just kind of stretches a little.
Asiedu chasing after it, going with Graham Smith. Both bodies collide. George Campbell pleading A's case. It's going to be a set piece opportunity from about 35 yards out for North Carolina FC here.
Not necessarily striking range, but certainly a danger range if you're Atlanta United too. North Carolina's been good with these set pieces. Let's see what sort of magic they can come up with this one.
Spies. Two-man wall. Carlton and Asiedu. Quick setup. Chipped in with the right. Headed. And Brendan Moore comes up with it. It was headed back to him, kind of in between ideas. Moore comes down with it and gets underneath it as he was trying to spring Gordon Wild and or Carlton. Carlton with it now from Metcalf. Deflected on the idea. Guillen is back there. Let's take another peek at what just went down.
It looked like Decas got up, got his head to it first, put it back to Moore, and Moore with a great diving save, even though it's not on goal. Keep things going positively, and yeah, the drop kick was a little bit high, but the mission was accomplished still, landing it at a 2, got back on the front foot for a little bit.
Preventing the corner kick there. North Carolina FC. Late here in minute number 40. Gordon Wild back on defense. Space in the middle. Iwolo will fire with the right and over the bar.
A little bit more danger coming in here with less than 5 minutes left.
Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Atlanta United 2, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on the Stripes' next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Forearm in the back there, and they'll get the whistle, and down in a heap is Jackson Conway just near center circle.
Taking a look at this one. It's a long-range shot, always rising. Moore's got a bead on it. Looks like he had it lined up pretty nicely and able to measure it, but still a little bit too much space. Laying out to 2 is forced to retake that free kick.
Metcalf. Friendly fire there from Vint on Carlton. Carlton sends it to the back line.
I swear we've seen that more this year than I can remember.
Friendly fire?
Yeah. It was like a week ago where Mario Williams got hit in the face.
Yes, agreed. Iwolo muscles it away from Carlton, but Vint back helping out at the back. Gets it back for the Stripes. And to continue my train, it's back to Tim Bacchus.
Never seems to fail for a guy like Conway. Gets popped in the back of the head on that foul. Just a couple seconds later, he's got to go up right for another header. This time doesn't cause problems for him, but the ball always seems to find you when you're a little bit sore.
Another big idea here for North Carolina FC. What can they do with it? It was 4-on-3. Settled down. Iwolo was getting there. Gallagher got there first. Asiedu has some space. He's being dragged and pulled by Graham Smith, and it looks like the card gets pulled from Alexander Zhelyazhkov's kit. And we get our first card of the night, early minute 43.
Nothing bad about that if you're North Carolina. You got to stop that counter. Graham Smith takes the bullet.
Number 16, Graham
Anderson Asiedu had turned the corner on him and had a step on him. It was going to keep on going most likely. So got to do what you can there to make sure it doesn't get out of line.
Here's your professional foul. Right there. No, you're not going anywhere, sir.
Anderson Asiedu is a lot bigger than you think he is. He might be short, but he's built. That's a lot of human to bring down for as short as it is.
Moore sends it forward with the left. Over the top of Gordon Wild. Jackson Conway will chase. Comcia back to recover, but settled by the Stripes. Asiedu. And George Campbell. Gallagher, Iwolo on him. Carlton didn't get the first ball. North Carolina comes down with it. DJ Taylor. Wild on him, trying to spring Lomas again. Dacus is there. Once again, DJ Taylor near the center line. Comcia, Conway on him, chipped forward. Nicely defended by Dacus, but sent into the middle where all you see is Iwolo, who tried to come up with either a chip or a pass, got caught between two ideas. It ends up with Moore, and back come the stripes.
A little bit dangerous. You got it solved if you're Atlanta United too. You don't care how you got it solved, but you got it solved.
Big right boot by Will Vint. Springs Benitez and Gordon Wild. Wild all the way over. Gallagher is there. Is it going to be bounce friendly? Yes. Nicely dropped back. Metcalf into the box. North Carolina gets there first, but Metcalf says, I've got this one. Calms everything down for a second. Give and go with Carlton. Into the middle, double A. Springs Benitez, a lot of room. Looks like it's going to be 1 minute added. Nicely done by DJ Taylor.
Taylor's already got an assist tonight. Had a pretty good night so far for North Carolina FC, trying to trigger the attack and get something up, a bit of a gut punch for either one of these teams that could score in the next minute of stoppage time.
Captain Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has added 1 minute.
There's your official notification of the 1 minute added. Too much from Vint. Going back to Campbell. They'll regroup. Let's try it again. Vint with space. Tries to spring Metcalf. And it's out. And on the roof. That's new. That's a first.
Can I check that off the bingo card?
Little help. Got to go on the roof and on the photo deck to grab that one and get that one in play. Thankfully, we only have about 40 seconds left here in the first 45, so that one can take its time coming back down.
Benitez, all sorts of room out there on the left-hand side.
Looking for Conway, picked off by Brotherton. Will Vint is there. And too much. Vint was looking for Metcalf, had too much behind it. Alex Tambakis is going to take as much of his sweet time as he can before bringing this back in as we get toward the end of the first 45. Speaking of the end of the first 45, Alexander Zhelyashkov puts the whistle in, and when you hear the tweets, that's what it ends up with. Okay, so the first 45, Gordon Wild puts the ball in the net to give the Stripes the 1-0 lead, but they can't hang on to it. It's a couple, about 5 minutes later, then you get the equalizer. So, Stripes get the lead on that Gordon Wild goal, but Marius Lomas, there's a reason Dave Sarachan has him, gets the equalizer. 1-1 at the break. You're watching the ESPN Plus with the USL Championship. We'll be right back.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
I knew your name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit Piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, one stop to better.
Welcome back to Fifth Third, 1-1 after the first 45 minutes. And quick thoughts from the first 45 from you. What'd you think?
Got stretched out, got a lot of fun at times. Both goalkeepers decided to come out and play tonight. Alex Tambakis and Brendan Moore both making a number of big saves. And then so far we've seen two really good goals. Atlanta United 2 and North Carolina FC. It's been a really fun match. Excited to see what the next 45 looks like, especially for the twos, third game in a week. How does the mind hold up? How do the legs hold up?
That's Jared Smith. I'm John Nelson. There's a lot of stuff going on here in the USL Championship. Here's the latest and greatest from what's going on around the league.
And Jamison's going to get to the ball off the giveaway, and Bradford Jamison's got the first goal, and San Antonio FC is on the board.
On his way. Here's Ryan Sierakowski in the penalty area. Sierakowski!
Oh! Weaving it forward. Oh, look, got a piece of that to Rob Dos Santos.
Plata. He'll take a shot and a goal! Joao Plata!
Leo's ball. Nice curl. This time headed for the goal!
This afternoon's match. A good ball into Lewis. What a strike! Zico Lewis.
Nice 1-2 there.
Here comes that scissors kick. And Isaac was alive to it.
Long range shot curling and it's in the back of the net.
And it's going to be Lewis. He just takes the strike. And Brandon Miller manages to get just a hair on it.
Austin Cole strikes first. Good ball in. John He's going to give it a crack, deflected away by Restrepo. Huntley lets it fly and Juan punches it away.
And it is a goal.
Fleming's in for JJ.
Here's Micheletto. Sends over, beautiful curler. Marco Micheletto. To the right side of the box. Robinson punts back, looking for some help. Deflected there. Jansen from the goal, stopped by Kirk.
Full head of steam. Peruzza trying to chip the goalie, and that's exactly what happened.
Dennis. And that one off the crossbar, and Fitzgerald getting a piece of that.
Here's an opportunity. Syed buries it for the Red Wolves.
Advantage for the rest of this game. Endo going right at it, punched out by Herrera. Outstanding effort.
Cox runs over. Second chance. Vega there. Back of the net. Near post headed on into the back of the net. Triumph convert on the set piece. They're up 2-1.
The best of Week 5, and Jarrett, you looked at some of that. There was some in the championship, some in League One, and here in the Southeast, seeing what's going on in League One, it was out of control. It was a wild game with Greenville and Lansing with the Ignite, and then Tormenta at the top of the ladder.
Tormenta just really making a name for themselves, not just in the region, but I think nationwide. We've known they've been a thing down here, but trying to put Statesboro on the map in a whole different way than we're used to.
When we come back, it'll be stats, highlights, get you ready for the second 45 minutes. You're watching Atlanta United 2, North Carolina FC on ESPN+. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
I knew your name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, one stop to better.
Welcome back to Fifth Third from the Wellstar Press Box. He's Jared Smith. I'm John Nelson. And nothing has been settled after the first 45 minutes. Atlanta United 2 with a goal on the board. Only held up for a couple of minutes as North Carolina FC comes back with an equalizer, and that's where we are at the break. It is 1-1. So how did we get to this particular moment in time? Jared, let's show the folks.
Well, Atlanta United, too, put their goalkeeper under a lot of pressure early on. A lot of help goes to that from North Carolina FC. You see a number of big saves here from Brendan Moore. And we talked a lot about Alex Tambakis, but it was Moore who had to step up and do a lot of the work. But then Atlanta United 2 builds on that. Ball falls. Gordon Wild puts it at the back of the net, gets it by Alex Tambakis, who got a touch to it on a really difficult situation.
He wanted to help at the back. It wasn't there. Let's take another peek at it. Great lift by Carlton to engage. And Gordon Wild with that left foot that has become dangerous for everyone who has followed along. And there's another opportunity there with Carlton. Great punch saved by Tambakis, and it goes over the bar as Carlton couldn't get even with it on the volley on the second chance. Spees on the corner.
Once again, North Carolina FC just forcing Brendan Moore's hand.
Brendan Moore making sure that everything was calm, but then the equalizer. Well, actually get another look, yeah, with another punch save.
Yeah, the close-range punch save against Iwolo, who got forced really narrow, and now we see it. A wonderful ball in the box of DJ Taylor, and then it's put in the back of the net there by Lomas.
So Brendan Moore could save most of them, just not all of them. And that's how we ended up here at 1-1 after 45 minutes. You look at that bunch of numbers there on that screen. Is there anything that sticks out to you?
So far, looking at the numbers on the screen, it's the shots. I mean, North Carolina just turned it into a shooting range at times. They have 5 on target. Atlanta United's had 2 on target. One of them from Andrew Carlton. That was that one we saw saved. And, of course, the goal by Gordon Wild. Atlanta holding a little bit more of the ball, but it really feels like it's been a back-and-forth affair with Atlanta United, putting the pressure on early. Then it shifts to North Carolina. Then Atlanta counters and scores. North Carolina comes right back down. And it feels like watching a really evenly matched tug-of-war. Really fun games as it starts to get stretched out at times and getting really fun end-to-end action, especially if you're watching neutrally and don't have an emotional, stress reaction to watching this.
Nothing like being a neutral. We're tied at 1s. Atlanta United 2. North Carolina FC as we head toward the second half. We'll get you prepped for it around the corner. Stick and stay at ESPN+.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
I knew your name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, one stop to better.
Welcome back. Halftime continuing and winding down here at Fifth Third. We're tied at 1s at the break between Atlanta United 2 and North Carolina FC. Goals by Wild and Lomas are what have been put on the stat sheet here in the first 45. We'll get you ready for the second 45, but there's a lot of stuff going on around the league in and of itself outside of the best of Week 5 that we saw in the championship in League 1. And that first point, I figured I'd drop a little Eric Clapton in there for you.
That's fine. Living on Tulsa time. 3 wins in 2019. That's equaled their total from 2018. When we talk about next year's a new year, That's what we mean. A great start there for Tulsa is try and get things going on the right foot. They have certainly done that so far. Really fun to see for that fan base.
And it's definitely for a great soccer town like Tulsa is. That's good to see. Now your trivia question: how many of those 6 teams can you name on that list? 4 of them being in the Eastern Conference, sir. And one of them actually lost earlier today.
Oh, that would be Loudon, who we just saw.
Correct.
Swope Park.
Yes.
Let's throw it in their face. Charlotte.
Yes,
sure. North Carolina's
yes, they have had success so far against Red Bulls, so that's who they're playing this weekend.
Hartford.
Yes, they are tied at 1, as a matter of fact, after being down 1-0 to Pittsburgh.
And
the 2 in the West.
I give up.
Phoenix Rising and Rio Grande Valley. 6 teams still winless. 4 of them are in the East. And the player of the week went to Kai Karenyuk of Los Dos, 42% of the vote. So player of the week goes to Los Dos. Very potent offense in the past, and Karenyuk continues that here in 2019. So that's your news and notes from around the USL Championship. Let's take a peek at the next 5. And you mentioned 7 of 9 for North Carolina FC. What do you see in that group right there?
I see a game against Charlotte Independence, who's trying to get on the board. I see a game against Hartford, you're trying to get on the board. That Hartford game is at home, so that's got to feel good, especially for North Carolina. Get a little bit of home cooking, but then you're at Indy, at Iowa, and then you welcome a Birmingham team to town. Hopefully they don't bring the ingots with them.
Yes, and definitely from the Sloss Furnaces. That's a very cool feature if you haven't seen it from Kelsey Steele. Then to the flip side for ATO UTD2, what do you see?
Getting a visit from the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Got to go up to Ottawa. Hopefully it's a little warmer than it may be up there right now. And you get Nashville coming to town, go to Bethlehem Steel, and then Swope Park Rangers. This is the schedule. I think if you're Atlanta United 2, you want to build the momentum here and then your next time out and really ride that positive momentum going forward. As we mentioned before the game, the results have been kind of mixed so far, but the performances have gotten better and better.
We mentioned Charlotte still being winless. They're down 2-1 at the break to Red Bulls 2. Some other quick scores. Pittsburgh, Hartford, they are tied at 1s. They are now in the 73rd. Also at the break, it is Bethlehem was a lead over the Charleston Battery 1-0. Tampa at the break leading Lou City, the 2-time defending champs, 1-0. Other games kicking off about 35 minutes in or so. We'll give you some updates with Nashville and Memphis. 31st minute, Timbers 2 leading Sacramento Republic by the score of 1-0. Also, you have Rio Grande Valley and OKC. St. Louis FC at the top of the East. They're taking on Birmingham, and San Antonio and Los Dos are just underway. And speaking of being underway, we have a sub, Luis Fernando, in for Gordon Wild to start the second 45. What do you think?
We'll see what he brings to the game. Fernando's been a problem when he's been on the field. Gordon Wild, a pretty good shift for him, though. Cannot be upset. Had a goal. Had a really good night so far, and now we see what Fernando brings to the table.
Only sub on the books, so for those of you keeping track, 7 in, 33 out for Atlanta United. As Atlanta United 2 goes from left to right on your screen here in the second 45. Sent in, and no one is there, so it will be a goal kick for the visitors, North Carolina FC, here as we're half a minute in to the second 45.
See if we see something similar from what we saw from Atlanta United 2 in the first half, where they started very aggressively on the front foot. Andrew Carlton was very aggressive in pushing up the field, as he was right there as well.
Tambakis sends it in. Second ball is won by North Carolina FC, but it comes for the third chance, and it goes to the Stripes.
Good positioning by Will Vent to win that header there, giving his team a chance to keep possession.
Luis Fernando thought he got clipped. Benitez settles it down for Asiedu. But Benitez recovers for Dacus, and they'll reset. George Campbell.
Like the balance we've been able to see from Atlanta United 2 so far in the attack. They feel comfortable going with Benitez down the left-hand side or Gallagher down the right-hand side. It's not overly favoring one way or another. Helps keep things a little balanced.
Benitez. A lot of mustard behind it as he was looking for Carlton. Jackson Conway was there, but they can't hang on to possession. But they do get it back after some pressure. Will Vent.
Vent really sliding into that back line a lot of times in the first half. When you're getting the wings going forward, it's been Vent who's been dropping back, helping form that 3-man back line in the attacking formation. Done a really good job of being calm with the ball, and as we say that, gets taken away from him.
Lomas looking to drive on Campbell. He does launch with the left over the bar.
That's why you don't want to get dispossessed like that in the midfield. Leads for a chance with a guy like Lomas, who does not miss those very often. It gets a good first step on Campbell, who is not slow by any stretch of the imagination, and gets a shot on goal that just goes over.
Exiting the game, number 33, Brady Wild, having entered the game.
Take a peek at the launch.
Campbell tried to get a leg in there to stop it, but was already a step behind in the first place and did a good job of getting back the way he did, forcing the shot from a little bit longer distance than Lomas probably wanted to shoot.
Benitez looking to drive, and they're going to call a foul there. Zhelyashkov with the whistle as he was trying to go through DJ Taylor to keep possession. Didn't happen, then the foul.
They got a little heavy at the touch there on the end of it. You see Asiedu telling him, just hey, get it down just a little bit. It's all good.
Little help anybody. Finally sent with the right, Comcia. Campbell wins the header there.
Still guys slipping out there. They just watered this pitch at halftime, so I wonder if that's going to be a thing we keep seeing with guys slipping. You just hope it doesn't happen at that critical moment.
Conway with pressure, won by Campbell, nicely kept. They're going to call a foul there on Lomas. Quick restart there by the Stripes.
Not sure if Campbell was throwing his hands up asking why the foul wasn't called, or throwing his hands up saying, I had it, why'd you blow the whistle?
Carlton looking for Benitez, too much.
A little bit disjointed here so far as both teams try and settle into the second half. You saw the turnover in the midfield, but other than that, it's been a matter of just trying to keep possession, string a couple passes together for both teams. North Carolina is starting to look like they're finding their step.
Brotherton being chased, sends it long and over Iwolo, so it'll be a Stripes throw deep in their own defensive third.
It was coming out of the break last time out against Memphis that North Carolina FC gave up that penalty where, you know, it was a tough turnover from Deleuze, where he ended up getting the red card and the penalty. He was giving the ball away in the defensive half, so we already saw Atlanta do that once. Is either team able to force that critical mistake again?
Graham Smith and Jack Metcalf both hit the deck. Metcalf looked like he came up worse for wear.
Already getting a little more physical than we saw earlier in the first half. Another long ball.
Benitez trying to go with the give and go with Carlton. Can he track it down? Yes, he does in the corner. Kept. Carlton. He'll launch with the right. Tries to put some bend on it. Right onto Tambakis. Easy save.
He read it the whole way. Did a good job of getting down low with it. Grabbed it and did not let it rebound. A lot easier said than done, grabbing that bending ball on a low angle and then not letting it bounce at all.
Brotherton to Tambakis, and they'll start over.
Fernando on those fresh legs trying to press up.
Vint is there. Nicely done. Gallagher looking for Carlton over everybody. Asiedu launched and blocked, and it will be a Creature Comforts corner kick.
Take a look behind goal of Carlton shot where he tried to bend it in. Great job by Tambakis. Got a good line of sight on it, was able to read it the whole way and took care of the problem.
So it looks like Andrew Carlton will take the Creature Comforts corner kick. Luis Fernando there with him.
We had the multi-ball on for a second there, had to stop things.
I think you have to be down by more than 2 goals with 10 minutes to go for that to happen.
That's CONCACAF rules.
Benitez tries to send it in. Headed out by North Carolina FC, but Captain Jack is there, and he'll try to find Luis Fernando. Well kept, slipped, but maintains possession. DJ Taylor there. Carlton with the right, looking and punched and deflected in. But the flag is up.
As we take a look at the replay coming up in just a minute, it looks like that went off of his hand on the way in. That's a good eye by the center ref and the AR to notice that. So that's going to come off the board despite the excitement as you take a look here. Carlton, a really nice delivery into the box. But goes right off of his arm that stuck up in the air. I appreciate his willingness to try and play it off, but a good call by the officials. His reigns tied at 1.
Jackson Conway, you see it with the fist in the air. Goes off of the arm. Goal disallowed, so we're back to 1-1 here in minute 53.
Iwolo picks up a foul there, and the ref went over to him, told him that's 2. Trying to get a little control. This game got a little more physical in the last few minutes, more so than it was in the first half. And I think the ref's trying to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand. Don't mind the physicality, just don't let it get too crazy.
Asiedu trying to get it past Smith, does not. But physicality in the middle third by the Stripes keeps it going back and forth. Iwolo is there. Campbell was on him.
Yeah, Atlanta United 2 seems to have taken something away from that St. Louis game from last weekend. They're not afraid to throw the bodies around there.
Comcia, DJ Taylor. Big right boot to the far post over everybody, over Gallagher, over Iwolo, who will send it in with the right. Campbell was there. Luis Fernando gets a push in the back, no call. They're going to let him keep playing. Andrew Carlton here in minute 54.
I'm right with that, trying to set the standard for what's a foul and what's not a foul, still allowing physical play. So far, no issues with the way he's been calling, especially in the second half, as it does pick up physicality.
Vint was looking for Metcalf to continue his run. He didn't. Aaron Guillen is there. Almost lost control of it over the line, but it's kept in with Brotherton.
Guillen's had his hands full tonight. I think he's done a very good job so far dealing with John Gallagher, who can be a big problem on that side of the field. Very well done so far.
Asiedu gets away from Spies. Chip to send the action forward. Guillen marked off of him. Timbakis will have to get on top of it, as Jackson Conway was trying to get into the 6 to get any kind of cleat on it and put it in the net to get the goal that he had disallowed just a couple minutes ago.
It still feels good to see the ball go in the back of the net. Just can't let it go off your arm like that next time. But keep applying that pressure if you're Atlanta United too. And if you're North Carolina, I mean, they're a team that against Memphis dealt with a team that threw some physicality at them, and they've got the veteran know-how, even without Deleuze, I think, to be able to handle that physicality and keep their heads.
Miller trying to turn, scoop it with the right too much. So it will be a goal kick for ATL UTD2, and they will quickly bring it back in. We're seeing a lot more of that. There's Stephen Glass looking intently here in minute 55.
Gotta wonder what's going through Glass's head right now as you're coming into the 56th minute here. Not too early to, it's a little too early probably to be making the major changes. Looks like we may have one coming in here just a bit though. Keep the mind and the legs fresh for Atlanta United 2 here as they try and push for 3 points.
Vint, Dacus. Benitez looks like he wants to be a dance partner. Inside it goes to Asiedu instead, and Captain Jack. Campbell. Vint trying to drive on Lomas. Big boot intercepted DJ Taylor. Carlton is there, but he can't hang on to it. Conway and Luis Fernando chasing.
Took a little bit of a down bounce there. McCabe did a good job of beating Carlton that ball after the bounce and taking care of things. And now it looks like you do have the change. Looks like it's going to be
substitution for Atlanta in the 56th minute.
Laurent Kissiadou coming in.
So it will be Kissiadou.
John Gallagher takes over the captain's armband for Metcalf. And Laurent Kissiadou coming in for more firepower for Atlanta United 2, and a lot of creativity coming on that field as well.
Kissiadou in minute 57 for Captain Jack. So now ATL UTD2 has used 2 subs, one at the interval right there at the beginning of the half, with Luis Fernando coming in for Gordon Wild, and you now have Kissiadou coming in for Metcalf. Dacus looking for help with getting pressure, having to send it to Moore, and Moore just has to slice it out.
North Carolina's trying to go quickly, trying to stay in on the attack.
DJ Taylor with the quick throw in. Spies with the turn. Miller wants to work on his own. Taylor gets it back in the area. Nothing happening. Stripes with numbers if they can take advantage of it.
Numbers and speed going the other way. Benitez cutting into the middle of the field.
Kissiadou with some early miles. Luis Fernando. Will Vint. Asiedu. Benitez double team. Benitez has it back. Will launch with the left. It's DJ Taylor right between the 2 and the 7.
A nice bruise tomorrow morning.
Asiedu step over in the corner. Is he going to leave it for Carlton? Yes. AC at the elbow. Gallagher. Kisiadu. Thought about sweeping it in with the right. Now going step over. Bodies in, cleared by North Carolina FC, and George Campbell goes over Lomas, and that's what they're going to call the foul on there. So it will be a whistle on Campbell. And while we're thinking about it, who's up, who's down, where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL Championship Power Rankings at one place, only USLChampionship.com. All right, here's Campbell. Lomas looks like
might have clipped him a bit going down there.
And Lomas decided to go ahead and go down while he was at it. Campbell was wondering where the whistle was coming from. There come the stripes again, minute 59. Asiedu and Carlton. Grounder to Will Vint, center circle.
Been getting a little bit more forward here. A little bit of slip there again. Turf just kind of collecting a few legs here and there.
Kisiadu in between ideas, picked up by North Carolina FC, and it's going to be Stephen Miller trying to get out of it. Middle third being chased by Luis Fernando. McCabe. North Carolina only to do short passes right now. Dacus whistled on Ben Spees.
Getting a little bit physical there, Dacus. Gonna have to kind of find his middle ground there. North Carolina once again going very quickly. It's a young team in Atlanta United 2 out there. Maybe try to catch him a little bit in the emotion.
All the way back to Tambakis. Comcia wanted it, sent long, over the top and out of control. Stephen Miller had it, lost it, and it's going to be a throw for the Stripes. Dacus and Campbell, too much for Campbell. He's going to have to chase and track it down.
Just judge the hop on that a bit.
Lomas is there, got a foot in the way, and it's going to end up being a goal kick. Be sure to tune in on Wednesday, April 17th for the ESPN USL Championship Game of the Week on ESPN3, featuring new expansion side Austin Bold hosting last year's Cup runner-up Phoenix Rising, the week's best match on the USL Game of the Week next Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN3.
Asiedu got in a little bit of trouble there, dribbled out of it. It landed at the feet of Carlton. So, you know, that's something that we don't always talk about, is getting that second ball like that. And for Atlanta United too, they're able to keep possession. They're able to keep positivity going forward.
Outside of the boot, nicely done to Benitez. Big run by Luis Fernando, picks it up, nicely done. Brings it back out. Asiedu. Picked up his pace a little bit, gives to Kisiadu, who will launch and right on to Alex Tambakis.
Another big, long-range rocket Tambakis is able to grab onto. I thought Asiedu was picking his head up to shoot a second before that. I started to say something. He wouldn't do that. No, but Kisiadu would. Take a second look here. He lays off Kisiadu. No one closes him down. A little bit of movement on it there. Great job by Tambakis. As you see the view from behind the goal, you can see it had a little bit of drawback to that post. Tambakis sees it the whole way. Once again, gets low to it, hangs on to it. Players in the neighborhood that could have caused problems, but does a good job of hanging on to it, and it stays even at 1.
Will Vint picks up the yellow card from Alexander Zhelyashkov there on the professional foul, making sure that North Carolina FC didn't get a break. 62nd minute late, tied at 1's opportunity here. North Carolina FC. Campbell pulls the arm back. It's going to be a corner kick for the visitors here, and it looks like it's going to be Aaron Guillen who's going to take it. Quick assembly. Ben Spees brings it in with the right. Bodies in the area. First ball. A lot of folks don't come down with it. DJ Taylor kind of blows a tire trying to get the second ball. Here come the Stripes with numbers.
Good job by Fernando not to try and just fire forward with that as they get the attacking half.
Conway couldn't try to get anything on it to calm it down. Ends up hitting Dave Sarakin, but it's going to be a Stripes throw. So the Stripes had a break. ATL UTD2, another opportunity with Luis Fernando combining with Jackson Conway. Couldn't get anything out of it.
I love the way Fernando hesitated a bit there. He could have tried to go forward, would have gone straight into his opponent's leg, and nothing would have come from it. Did a great job, I thought, of holding it up just a little bit and creating that opportunity for himself.
Campbell gets in the way of Lomisa's idea. Nicely done there. Kisidu brings it down for Will Vint. Muscling Stephen Miller off.
Add him to the list.
Benitez, Luis Fernando, and Vint. Kisidu, Guillen on him. Grounded with the right. Conway tries to get something done and can't. Looks like it was touched last on the defense. Nicely done there by Comsey. It's going to be a Creature Comforts corner kick.
Great job of getting in there. And what's going to take for Jackson Conway to put the ball in the back of the net? It just seems like it doesn't want to go there.
Andrew Carlton will take. Luis Fernando comes in to help if you wanted to do a short introduction. Brings it in with the right. Dacus tried to come in. Kisidu was there for the second ball. Gallagher just sends it in. Conway now with it. Asiedu. Back post with the right over everybody, and it will be a goal kick.
Overcooked it just a little bit there. Not sure if Gallagher was going for the shot or the pass, or just put it into the mixer and see what happens. But it's still an opportunity for Atlanta United too. Is both teams really looking to try and take control here, but Atlanta United too had the better of it lately.
Iwolo. Call a foul on Gallagher there. Quickly brought back in North Carolina, and it looks like it's going to be too much for Stephen Miller, but he will track it down. Get some help from DJ Taylor at the elbow.
Taylor's already got one assist tonight. Can be very creative right there on the edge of the box.
Left foot and both mitts in the air over the bar. Brendan Moore.
Another great save for Moore. Got up, put hands to it. We'll take another look at it. Taylor gets it, lays it off. Nice little half spin. Gets it on the left foot there, and Moore's got to parry it away. Good alertness by the Atlanta United 2 goalkeeper.
Ben Spies will take for North Carolina FC. Everyone converging on the 6. Spies in the air with the right. Headed straight up in the air that time by Brotherton. Second ball won by Atlanta United 2, but it's going to end up going to Graham Smith. Broke out the sand wedge with some English on it, and over the bar again. Another chance for North Carolina FC.
Looked like Brotherton that time pulling the trigger on it from distance. A great job by Iwolo there. Very unselfish to not try and twist that header back into the box, but laid it off for the open man. You should take a look at it here. Nice cross in. Comes off his head. He just leaves it for him. Gets a good chunk of it. Just twists it over the bar a little bit high there. But nice unselfish play that leads to a dangerous opportunity.
Pressure now by North Carolina FC. Kisidu lets it go and tries to get his speed to get the ball around the corner. Does not work. Brotherton is there, and he'll get it back to Tambakis here, minute 67. Luis Fernando involved. Jackson Conway has his chance!
Well, there it is.
Only got him 2/3 of the way through. Jackson Conway, after being denied earlier on, looks like they're getting set to make a substitution with Lawrence Wyke. But Jackson Conway on the board, 2-1, Atlanta United 2.
Well, it's great work there to force the turnover. We talked about it earlier. That is how Memphis managed to force that penalty last week. They forced a mistake in the back by North Carolina. Right there, it's Luis Fernando forcing the mistake after Laurent Kisidu forced the early pass, and then it's Jackson Conway being alert, not giving up on the play, and he beats Tambakis from close range. 2-1 Atlanta United 2 with just over 20 minutes to play and a change coming for the Twos.
Couple of changes. It looks like a sub for North Carolina FC. Stephen Miller's night is done. They're going to bring in Manny Perez. So Manny Perez in, 2 in, 31 out for North Carolina FC in minute 68.
In the 67th minute, the assist on the goal, number 11, Laurent Kisidu.
Conway, Luis Fernando.
Atlanta
Gallagher
by number 14,
settles it down, brings it into the middle. Give to Carlton.
Substitution for NCFC in the 67th minute.
Gallagher and Luis Fernando.
Exiting the game, number 31, Stephen Miller.
Carlton tries to sweep it backwards. Aseyadu was there. Carlton pounces back on it, step over, tried to do something with the left, not enough on it as he tried to keep possession, but not cleared out by North Carolina FC. Aseyadu, he'll drive. Tries to send Luis Fernando, and he can't keep it.
It blew a tire there at the end. Looking at the change that was just made from North Carolina, Stephen Miller had a good night coming out. Miller tested more a couple times. Comes off for Manny Perez, who played in the midweek. Perez, a very crafty, very talented player. It can get a little reckless with the ball when he's in there in the attack, but he's never afraid to go 1v1, and that could be very dangerous on the wings as Atlanta United 2 looks to hang on to this lead.
Kisidu as Carlton finds him, give and go. Trying to spring Benitez. Benitez calling Kisidu over as reinforcements. Dacus all the way over to Gallagher. Will keep it in with his head. Iwolo tries to settle. Campbell nicely done. Gallagher with room. Tries to spring Kisidu. Well defended by Guillen. Goes off Kisidu last. It'll be a North Carolina FC throw.
Guillen's had his hands full tonight.
Sent forward with the left. Lomi's looking for a call, didn't get it. Carlton. Kisidu with the right over everybody. But the speed will track it down for Atlanta United 2. Benitez jousting with Perez, and they're going to call a foul on Benitez on all the hand fighting.
All that starts back a minute ago with George Campbell, as big and tough as he is, being very smooth in the way he gets around his man to create the opportunity.
Fans follow Atlanta United 2 and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and US Open Cup. Join the over 2 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN+. Watch the USL Championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Brendan Moore being chased by Lomis. Aseyadu settles. Will Vint. Dacus. Aseyadu. Nice awareness to pull it back to Gallagher and Campbell.
Love the way Vint's just sitting back there when everything gets moving forward, knowing where it needs to be, making himself available, giving his teammates chances. Benitez gets in on the attack.
Speaking of chances, Benitez was looking for Campbell for Carlton. Nicely done by North Carolina FC to get in the way. Big idea by Manny Perez here. Dacus defending nicely.
Last touch by Perez, nicely done by Wesley Dacus.
Well, we saw a minute ago in the corner here when Perez broke up an attack for Atlanta United 2 with his physicality, and we see the physicality going the other way there. Looks like you got another sub coming in for North Carolina.
Chester in for Iwolo, so Yamakani Chester now.
Iwolo doesn't collect 4 goals like he did last time, but he was certainly dangerous, certainly selfless at times. It's still really fun to watch.
So Chester in, 11 in, 7 out for North Carolina FC. And they have one more substitution Dave Sarakin can use, and a whistle there. Foul out by Manny Perez on Andrew Carlton.
You can't accuse him for coming into the game and not embracing the physicality of it.
Each team with one substitution left. Deep throw, Conway. Kisiedu. Gallagher. Asiedu, a lot of space for Benitez. Will Vint. Carlton. Pass was deflected, but backtracking. Benitez keeps Lomas away from it. Chipped forward with the left. Can Carlton run under it? No. Tambakis will get there first. And DJ Taylor. North Carolina FC down a goal. Brotherton. Sense of urgency is here. This goes off of Chester, and it will be a stripes throw. Understandably wiping the ball off with the kit because of the water that was put down at halftime.
We get to see what North Carolina and Atlanta do with their last subs. As the game state holds right now, North Carolina's going to want to push, and as we've seen, they're not above pulling one out of the fire with adverse circumstances. This is a lot better circumstance than they were facing against Memphis the other night.
DJ Taylor taken down by Will Vint, and they'll call a whistle. Robbie Christo, the one forward left for Dave Sarakin. Spees trying to get Chester going. Gallagher is there. Dacus dangerously lets it go and clears it with the left.
That took guts. I'm not above it, but it took guts.
Lets it go through his own legs to turn himself around right there so he can clear it with the left boot.
He knew what he was doing the whole time.
Will Vint. Spees on him.
We talked about this in the pregame as well. Atlanta United, too, with that 1-goal victory last time out, they were able to close down a tough, close game. Are they going to be able to do it again here with about 25 minutes left?
Gallagher looking for Kisiedu. Heads it forward. Jackson Conway tried to grab hold of it, but it ends up at the feet of Brendan Moore. He'll grab hold of it. Dacus has Benitez looking for a little help. Asiedu, Benitez couldn't control it. Manny Perez. Graham Smith sends it over to Chester. DJ Taylor. Once again, Graham Smith with the left. Chester heads it down. Back and forth as Kisiedu tries to get under it as we turn minute 77.
Atlanta United, too, doing a really good job of making them work the ball around without trying to find the keyhole to get this thing opened up.
Chester on Gallagher, nicely done by Campbell to clear. Attempted bike, I guess. Fair catch called for and caught by Brendan Moore. It's the best way I can describe that.
He did a good job with it. He was confident with it. Knew he had somebody bearing down on him. Didn't try and jump and get too sloppy with it. Just brought it down, got down with it, and reset everything.
Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Atlanta United 2. Click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on the Stripes' next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Following Laurent Kisiadou and Carlton. Some back heels and sweeps, trying to get something done inside the area. Doesn't quite happen.
You can see where their brain was at with that. It would have been a fantastic team goal if that comes off. You see Conway try and leave it all for Carlton. They're just unable to do so. And a heavy touch there from Asiedu is going to give
Chester. And Zhelyazhkov waves it all off. Campbell and Chester going at it just outside the box. Zhelyazhkov waves it all off. Nothing happening there. He didn't see anything. Let's take a peek.
Well, it's Campbell who goes in with Chester 1v1, sticks that arm out a little bit. Wouldn't argue with you if you said he got away with a little bit of a push there, but as it stands, right on the edge of the box, play goes on for Atlanta United 2 and North Carolina, approaching the 80th minute.
Gallagher. Kisiadou. Will Vint. Luis Fernando. Carlton looking to do two-man game. Kept in. Tried to go with the left was Benitez, but he didn't get enough footing. Ended up chunking it. Ends up heading back with North Carolina FC. Halfway through minute 79. Spies looking to spring Chester. Chester gets there before Gallagher. Gallagher, Campbell, and Dacus back to defend. Right boot off of Campbell. Asiedu will settle.
And they're going to need more of that in the middle as Chester gets wide on Gallagher with those heavier legs. Chester able to get that first step on this long run and then be able to cut inside and get a half step there as well. But a great job in the middle by your young defenders to force the ball out.
Gallagher. Campbell. Vint. It's going to stick with the Stripes. What's the update from Foxborough?
Update from Foxborough right now. Atlanta United, parent club, up 2-0 right now on New England. A couple of Ezequiel Barco goals, the difference there. Barco had to come in early in the game for Eric Hermeti, but right now, everybody in Atlanta's happy.
I did not have Ezequiel Barco on my fantasy team this week.
That's a you problem.
It is. Trying to spring North Carolina FC was Graham Smith there. Good idea. It's going to end up being a goal kick. Or they're going to call a foul instead, not a goal kick. So it'll be brought back and more. And Campbell.
This gets very fun here in the last 20 minutes or so as Atlanta United 2 kind of hunkered down a little bit, but you still got so much speed and attacking talent and creativity on this team, as you see right there, that as North Carolina pushes forward, there's going to be opportunities in the counter. We'll see if they get exploited. We'll see what breaks first.
And this was one of the keys that you had at the beginning of the match, closing it out. That was one of the points that you wanted to make because of what happened in Memphis midweek. This is another opportunity to do that.
Absolutely it is. It's an opportunity to tighten down mentally. This is the end of a long week if you're Atlanta United. 3 games in a week is tough. I don't care how old you are. And it's tough mentally, especially when you're young, not to switch off at that crucial moment. So can they continue to do that as they get back in the attack? Aside from killing this game off by making it 2-1, you can kill this game off with a third or maybe even fourth goal as well.
Vint. Kisiadou. Thought about giving it to Asiedu, gives it to Andrew Carlton instead, who then will give it to Double A, who has Benitez free with the left. That's what he wanted to do last time. Back post, header missed, but Yamakani Chester comes down with it, and he's got some space. He'll pull it back. Nicely done by Luis Fernando to get possession back for the Stripes, and they'll come back quickly.
Benitez has had room to move down the left-hand side. You think he's going to have more as the game goes on here as North Carolina has to push.
Kisiadou, Vint, Gallagher. Dacus will turn and calm it down. Late minute 82. Caught in between ideas in the center circle, but speaking of between ideas, that was Tommy McCabe also. It ends up ending up in a bunch of open space back to Brendan Moore.
That's been kind of the theme right now with the second half for me, is Atlanta United 2's had a couple little mistakes, but they haven't turned into big mistakes yet, either by their defending or by North Carolina just not taking advantage of the opportunities. That was another one there where if you're North Carolina, you feel like you should have done more with that.
Carlton looking to drive on DJ Taylor.
Oh, it's and one now.
Kisiadu sweeps it behind, but North Carolina clears, but it's Benitez who will launch with the right over everything.
Tried to get a little bit of drop on that one. I think he was trying to get up and down like Tiger, but unable to do so there. Lives a little bit high. I don't know if it was Andrews dribbling that forced the slip or if it was the turf or maybe a little bit of a combination of each.
Oh, good choice, D, all the above.
Yeah.
DJ Taylor starting to cramp up actually in his left calf. Lomi sends it out. And it looks like Dave Sarakin saw that and he's going to get his third sub ready.
We'll see what direction they go with this.
Benitez on Manny Perez. They're going to call Perez for the foul as Benitez tried to turn the corner.
Heck of a shift put in by Benitez this evening as that last sub is coming in. And it's going to be Sam Brotherton coming off.
For Robbie Christo, so he's pulling a defender, and he's going to go with three attacking up top. So it'll be Christo, Lomis, and Chester chasing the equalizing goal here halfway through minute 84.
More pressure on that young backline for Atlanta United too. More opportunity for the young creative forces up top. We're going to see what has to give here.
Luis Fernando. Siadu. Gallagher. Campbell has to control it. He does. Going around Robbie Christo. Kisiadu has some assistance. Luis Fernando trying to spring Conway. Can't do it. And it ends up being a goal kick.
A fun little step over there from Kisiadu to try to create the space. Gives it off for Fernando. Fernando had to lunge for that touch. Was not able to be as delicate as he probably would have wanted there.
Lomis with three stripes kits around him, can't control it. All the way back to Brendan Moore. George Campbell gets around Chester rather nicely and leaves it for Benitez. Andrew Carlton.
And without comparing the two, George Campbell, I think, is getting asked to do what we saw Miles Robinson get asked to do last year for the first team for Atlanta United, where he's being asked to be that veteran presence as a young player on that back line.
Andrew Carlton tried to go the big switch with Kisiadu, couldn't control it. Ends up being another goal kick for Alex Tambakis. First ball headed down nicely. Lomis, Dacus on him. Lomis got the equalizer last time out for North Carolina FC. Set piece definitely worthy of taking a peek at.
Last sub coming on now. Looks like Jackson Conway is going to be coming off.
Lawrence Wyke.
Exiting the game, number 14, Jackson Conway.
Wyke, another young product that's going to be coming on for Atlanta United too. They're going to be looking to shut up shop here a bit and kind of bring this down.
So Stephen Glass makes the offensive for defensive sub. So technically at the back, and I say technically, Benitez, Dacus, Wyke, Campbell, and Gallagher will be working at the back here for Atlanta United 2. Headed down. Chester with it, chased by Asiedu. Nice one-on-one battle here. Chester with the right into the box, but up the elevator shaft to about the 3rd floor, comes down.
Asiedu wins the header because why not?
Left foot right on, spilled a little bit, but Brendan Moore will hang on. Graham Smith with the left.
That's one where I'm okay with my guy taking that shot. You know, it's such a hard look sometimes to the keeper to pick it out, and then if it gets spilled, you're in business.
Brendan Moore brings it back in. There's Gallagher as we turn to minute 88. Vint, nicely done to keep possession. Gallagher will send it forward with the left, looking for Luis Fernando, but Comsi is there first. Kisiadu settles. Andrew Carlton center circle.
Got numbers coming this way.
5-on-3. Can they take advantage? Double A wants to turn with the right. Tries to chip it into Carlton, but it's cleared. Gallagher with a lot of space. He'll just eat some clock.
Hey, they can't score if they don't have the ball.
That's very Yogi Berra-ish of you, sir.
That's what I'm here for.
And a whistle as Carlton is taken down as he was trying to drive or send it forward to Gallagher. So it'll be a late set piece opportunity just off the elbow from about 25 for Andrew Carlton here, minute 89.
Went through the 5-hole there, couldn't get around the backside to put it away, but good opportunity there for the set piece. Carlton puts his hands on his knees, taking a couple seconds here. A bit better gamesmanship with the time wasted.
80th minute in Foxborough. For those of you interested in that one, still 2-0 Atlanta United. Quickly introduced. Asiedu to Kisiadu at the elbow. Step over, kept. Nicely done to try to introduce Luis Fernando into the play.
It was off.
The flag is up.
It was a good idea, but he's off just enough, and they blow it dead appropriately.
Tambakis sends it forward. But it's only Stripes kits that are there. Campbell, Asiedu in and around and through. 3-on-3 now. Quickly, 5-on-3 for the Stripes. Left through, nicely done. Carlton launched, just missed.
Carlton pulls the trigger just a little bit wide, and North Carolina coming the other way. Atlanta United 2 has to be on their toes right now as they're coming with that diagonal ball.
Game stretched. Campbell went after it. Loomis went after it as well. Gallagher backtracking nicely. Will just chip it, and he finds Lawrence Wyke. All the space for Lawrence Wyke now. Cuts it back to Vint, who's put in a nice game tonight in all 90 minutes. Kisiadu with space.
Only had a mistake or two I can think of off the top of my head. Just a solid professional night from Will Vint as he continues to get time, continues to develop. Been really fun to watch him go up against professionals.
Asiedu spins. Spees spins out. Blew a tire.
Turn 4 has been getting a couple people tonight so far. He's not the first one to go down like that.
Luis Fernando. 2 minutes added. Here's the official word. It's on the light board. That makes it official. Outside of the boot. Nicely done, but too much trying to track down Laurent Kisiadu over there at the far.
That's a good idea. That would have been a really pretty situation if it comes off. Unfortunately, it doesn't there for Atlanta United 2. Now, if you're North Carolina, 2 minutes, it's go time. It's put the pedal down. As if it wasn't already.
DJ Taylor trying to find any tool in the toolbox that'll get everything going.
Benitez out here playing 90 minutes, just running up and down that side, still putting in a shift. Took a shot to the head a minute ago. Got up. He's been able to keep going. He's been having to keep going.
Nicely done there to intercept. Asiedu, and they're going to whistle Chester for a high boot.
Just missed Henderson's face. I think it caught up underneath his armpit and went right by his nose. Not a good ball there from Vint. You get possession, you give it right away again. Not really what you need to see at all in that situation. Take your time with it. Time is on your side. No need to rush that.
Lawrence Wyke with a little less than a minute to go. Asiedu has some reinforcements to the right, and it was deflected. Tambakis somehow came up with it. but wasting no time. Graham Smith has to figure out what to do. Sends it long with the right, looking for Lomies. Gallagher is there first.
Great physicality from Gallagher to hold up there, take care of things, and get it cleaned out.
30 seconds. Campbell with the left through center circle. And intercepted. 3-on-3, Fernandez. Luis Fernando and Kisiadu. Kisiadu, what's he going to do with it? Go to the corner, work at the top of the box. Luis Fernando with the left over the bar.
Luis Fernando grabbing his face, knowing it was right there.
And he can't stay on his kit for too
back.
long. You got to get up with the right. Last chance to dance, North Carolina FC. Lawrence Wyke is there. Brendan Moore will clear with the left.
That's it.
And that's it. One of the points you made when we started the match. Close it out.
Close it out, and they did. And it wasn't like they scored in the 85th minute where they only had to hold on for a little bit. Atlanta United 2 takes advantage of a mistake. They're able to put one in the back of the net in the second half with about 20 minutes left and able to get the job done. Fantastic performance from this team in the third game of the week, especially those young defenders, the calm they showed, the professionalism they showed. They've got to feel really good about that. For North Carolina, it's the first loss of the season. It comes on the road, and you're trying to get on the road and establish yourself. Not a bad night at all. You had plenty of chances. Brendan Moore kept Atlanta United 2 in control here early on with a number of big saves and really helped kind of give them a lift, I bet, as Jackson Conway is named man of the match.
Goal in the 67th for Jackson Conway was the difference. So 14 gives full points to the Stripes. We'll come back to put a bow on it from Fifth Third. Atlanta United 2 beats North Carolina FC in the USL Championship 2-1. You're watching on ESPN3. Stick and stay. We'll close it out after this.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
I knew your name before you did. I knew your fears, your hopes. I knew what you could accomplish, how great you could be. And I knew just where to take you when you got hurt.
You'll be back out there in no time.
For physical therapists and certified athletic trainers who only work with young athletes, there's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Moms know.
There are never enough hours in the day, so you can't let sniffles, strep, or aches and pains slow you down. But finding great healthcare that fits your schedule can be tricky. With Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, you can get great same-day care right around the corner. There are 27 locations and counting, all with extended hours and most open 7 days a week. You can book an appointment online to get in, out, and on your way. Visit piedmont.org/quickcare now to learn more. Piedmont Quick Care at Walgreens, one stop to better.
Welcome back to Fifth Third Bank Stadium here in Kennesaw, Georgia. Alongside Jarrett Smith, I am John Nelson. Thanks for accessing us however you did tonight as Atlanta United 2 gets full points over North Carolina FC by winning 2-1. And Jarrett, you know, we look at this match, and you had a couple of ideas as to what it was going to take for the Stripes to get it done tonight. And one of those was closing it out. You talked about it last segment. They're closing it out. And this is what it's also all about. After the match, players coming over, making sure that you got to make sure that your Sharpie works. Make sure your Sharpie works more than anything else. Everybody heading over to make the fans and all that stuff. And one of the guys who's over there signing autographs was 14, Jackson Conway. Let's take a peek at the game winner that happened back in the 67th.
Well, you see Kisudu force pressure. Then you see Fernando force even more pressure. Kisudu recovers the loose ball. It falls to Conway. Conway puts it by Tambakis at close range. They just close it down. And this is what happened last week against Memphis for North Carolina. The goal they give up, it ends up being a penalty and a red card, but it was because of a giveaway at the back in the second half. Something that Dave Sarakin's going to talk about this week with them. Both teams had a couple giveaways at the back. It was Atlanta's that was the tougher giveaway and the one that ends up being the difference.
Gordon Wild with a goal that makes it 1-0. Then you get the equalizer. Let's take a peek at the numbers. Look at possession, 60-40 almost. And the 12 shots that North Carolina FC had in the first half, only 7 in the second half with as much offense as they wanted to do. What else sticks out?
Are the shots on target. They still put plenty of shots on target, and you look at that, I see 6 saves from Brendan Moore. I see a really impressive performance from him, especially in the first half, where he was standing on his head a couple times, especially on set pieces. Really loved what we saw from him. Alex Tambakis as well had a couple of big saves, especially late in that game, to keep things in control for North Carolina, where they still had a shot. They weren't able to put it away, but still a solid performance from them. Something they can build on, even though it's a loss. I think if you're North Carolina, you take this home and you bounce back and get angry next time out.
And 7 of 9 for North Carolina FC. This was game 1 of this massive road trip that they're on. For Atlanta United 2. The result against St. Louis, when you lose 2-0, then you get the big result on the road against Memphis 901. You win tonight, but we talked about it at the half. You've got Tampa, who is at the top, near the top of the standings in the East after this. Then you've got 3 of 4 on the road after that.
It's going to be a big test. You've already got that 1 win on the road, and that was a very impressive win, and you've built on this. Now, go get even more momentum. Go get more momentum. Get the ball rolling even more. Harder to stop that boulder when it's around the terminal velocity.
It's been fun, partner. Thanks for hanging out with me.
It has. What a great night, great performance, and something to build on.
For Jared Smith, I'm John Nelson. It was Jackson Conway's goal that was the difference. Gordon Wild put one in the back of the net for the Stripes to give them a 1-0 lead. Full points to the Stripes by the time we're done. Thanks to everybody in the truck. Scott Hicken in charge of the 1s and 2s. You've been watching the USL Championship on ESPN+. Thanks for hanging out with us. Play it safe, everybody. We'll see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.